Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Syracuse Unpeeled. I'm Sean Onwualu.
And I'm Meagan Reynolds, and tonight we will be discussing the season premiere of SNL.
Then we'll see who was crowned the winner of our apple picking competition against College Eats.
And finally, we'll be sitting down with local brand manager Anthony Obas to discuss the upcoming event, This Is Upstate, Syracuse versus Utica. Lindsay Lohan got punched in the face after accusing Syrian refugee parents of human trafficking. It happened on Friday in Moscow when the former child star started an Instagram live video. According to reports, she started the video by introducing her fans to a family she just met. But things took a turn when she started accusing the parents of trafficking their own boys.
Lohan is then heard yelling at the children to get in her car and that she won't leave until she takes them. Police say the incident got physical when Lindsay went to go grab one of the boys, and then a woman, who appears to be the boy's mother, punched her in the face. The video ends with Lohan crying in tears. Meg, there's a lot that doesn't even make sense. Like, what just happened?
I couldn't even tell you. I just watched the video for the first time today, and I was even confused by it because it just kind of, it was like a light switch.
Yeah, there's so many questions. Like, why is she in Moscow? Like, why is she talking to this family?
I know she's like doing something with her own brand now, and she's starting her own reality show, so that could have had something to do with why she was even in Moscow.
Yeah.
But I don't know where she got the idea that they were trafficking their own children.
Yeah, it's such a weird conclusion to jump to.
I don't know.
Considering that, I don't know. I just feel like Lindsay Lohan on Instagram Live pulling up to a random family is just, and the first thing she says is trafficking. That's kind of weird.
Well, she was starting off by, she made it sound like she wanted to do almost like a charity thing, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
it turned into attempted kidnapping.
Yeah, I mean, the story is still developing. Maybe it's all PR stunt. Who knows?
Do better, Lindsay. Do better. Lil Wayne's new album, The Carter 5, is predicted to hit the #1 on the Billboard 200 chart nearly a week after its release. His 12th studio album took 5 years to make due to a long-running contractual dispute between Wayne and his mentor and co-founder of Cash Money Records, Brian Williams, affectionately known as Birdman.
Wayne then sued Birdman after claiming to be cheated out of millions of dollars, which led to a countersuit from Birdman. The two men then settled their differences over the summer, and Wayne was finally able to release his album. Sean, what are your thoughts on this dispute?
This dispute is, it's crazy because it's like very deep in rap. I don't know if you listen to rap or not.
I really don't, so I don't know much about this.
Yeah, their beef has come up in multiple songs by like Drake and all this stuff, and like also Birdman was police came to him for the attempted murder of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's bus was shot up a few years ago, and people suspected it was Birdman, and it's just such a crazy feud that like Birdman allegedly contemplated killing this man over this album.
That wouldn't even benefit him though, right?
I mean, like it would, because if Lil Wayne dies, he's the only one who has rights to the album, so he could drop it whenever he wants.
That sounds like its own like television show episode of some crime show that I feel like that's been.
But on the other hand, it's a good album. I love it. It's crazy the amount of people I saw posting it on their stories. So if you haven't listened to it,
definitely, maybe I'll check it out after the show. But up next, Kanye West left audience members shocked as he wrapped up the season premiere of SNL last weekend. The rapper ended the show with a musical performance and lengthy speech about his support of President Donald Trump, which never made it to air.
West was wearing a Make America Great Again hat as he delivered an unexpected speech in front of the SNL performers, including Colin Jost and host Adam Driver. Some audience members expressed their disapproval with boos, and so has the internet. So there's a lot of stuff here to discuss and a lot of stuff that's happened because of this, but let's start with Mr. Kanye West.
Honestly, I'm kind of confused as to why people are even shocked.
True.
You know, this is Kanye West we're talking about. He was bound to do, whether it was the speech or something else, he was bound to do something that people would start talking about because that seems to be what he loves. He loves people talking about him. You know, I think he's a firm believer in the policy of there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, bad publicity.
But, I mean, I don't know if you saw the comments that Kenan Thompson made about it, where he said that the cast was, quote, held captive by Kanye West on stage, which I thought was an interesting way to describe that.
Well, actually, Chris Rock, he recorded the end of the part that never aired, and it's such like an awkward proceeding. Like he finished his performance with Kid Cudi and all that stuff, and then like he just throws the hat on, like just starts talking. It was weird because like it seemed as though like nobody knew what to do. Everyone was kind of like, what's he doing? But then it's Kanye West, so it's like...
I think it was that whole thing of where it's so painful, but you can't help but watch it because it's so cringeworthy.
Yeah. And a lot of people are watching because he was supposed to release his next album, Yandi, after SNL, like he did a few years ago with The Life of Pablo, but that never happened. And Kim Kardashian, not Kanye, told the whole world that the album's actually coming Black Friday in November. So
maybe, again, you never know what they want to do with their PR. It's
never know what's going on.
Their image. There's a lot of debate right now, though, about whether this is going to hurt Kanye's brand. Do you think it's gonna, or?
He's done so much. I feel like people love him too much for that to hurt his brand. So I wish it would, but no.
People know what they're getting with Kanye.
Probably so when we come back, our city reporter Joyce Kim will be telling us Funkin' Waffles pulled Pete Davidson's comedy act.
So don't go anywhere.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back, Unpeelers. Local fans of comedian Pete Davidson received a shock Sunday when Funkin' Waffles decided to pull the SNL star from its upcoming comedy show. He was originally set to headline the Q's Comedy Showcase, but Davidson made waves when he called the city of Syracuse trash in a recent interview with Howard Stern. Our city reporter, Joyce Kim, is here to tell us more.
Hi, so a little background story. Pete Davidson was actually in Syracuse all summer to film for his movie Big Time Adolescence with Machine Gun Kelly, and they went to Funkin' Waffles off, and they even shot like a little scene from Machine Gun Kelly's music video Loco at Funkin' Waffles. But in an interview with Howard Stern last week, he called Syracuse trash from his visit here last summer. This past summer, and people didn't take to that too well. They were really offended, and I know like Pete Davidson's like personality is super sarcastic and whatnot, but people really didn't like it. So he ended up chickening out, and he pulled from the show.
That's just interesting that he pulled the plug. I mean, obviously people were not going to be pleased that he's calling Syracuse trash. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of university students weren't pleased with that either, especially because they're fans of his. But do you know what it was that he was like? Was it the city itself? Like, what about the city to him is trash?
He just said Syracuse is trash, and it's like funny because he like hung out with Ariana a lot, and he said he had a good time.
No, a lot
but
of my
later
friends
in the
saw
interview,
them
and later in the interview, he just called the city trash. But I understand why he pulled from the show, because it would have been super awkward if he did a comedy show and everyone was just mad at him sitting there like, I refuse to laugh at this guy because he called my city trash.
He probably would have gotten a lot of boos. And
that would have been bad.
Comedians have to deal with like enough heckling and stuff. So considering Pete Davidson is now out of the question, what is Funkin' Waffles doing instead of having Davidson headline the comedy show?
So instead of Davidson, they had local Syracuse comedians come in, and they did a Q's comedy show with I think the DJ was, the host was RJ McCarthy, and I saw clips of it, and they just did stand-up comedy, and it seemed cool.
That sounds great. So do you think this is going to maybe lead to more events at Funkin' Waffle, doing some kind of open mic, stand-up type comedy, or?
I think that'd be super cool because the venue is nice. It's like more chill. You could eat, you could get food.
They do have good waffles.
Yeah, open mic nights, I would go to that. That sounds fun.
No, that's always great timing. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but it seemed to work out best for Funkin' Waffles.
And it really brought the community together because it was like supporting local comedians, and it worked out.
Well, it sounds like a great time. So production companies often delay movie release dates, but 20th Century Fox is now pushing back the dates of 3 upcoming films. These films are potential blockbusters, and they're Alita Battle Angel, X-Men's Last Installment, Dark Phoenix, and Gambit. The pushback has some fans questioning if the Gambit movie is ever even going to air. Our film reporter Patrick Gunn is here in the studio to explain why these delays are happening. So Patrick, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me to talk about this lovely issue right now. So yeah, this merger is a pretty big merger. A lot of people are unfortunately going to lose their jobs. But I don't know if this is really the main cause of everything.
Yeah.
These mergers take time to come into full effect. And there's a lot of work that's going to go into it. Yes, a lot of people are losing jobs, but at the same time, I think it's more Fox Studios and the X-Men especially, other than Deadpool, they're really kind of up in the air of what they're doing with their movies, and they really just don't know what's going on.
So would you say this merger is the cause of the delay, or are you just saying like delays are natural, or who's to blame with the delays? Is it the merger? Is it something else? Or
I just think the films aren't ready. There's been a lot of issues behind the scenes, especially with the Dark Phoenix movie. It's already been delayed once. It was supposed to come out this year in November, and then it was pushed back to February, and then they had the trailer released pretty recently, and then 2 days after the trailer released, it's June now. So there's just a lot of shifting in Fox right now. Alita Battle Angel, that made sense. It was going to come out with Bumblebee and Aquaman. That movie it's based off a manga. That has doesn't have as much of a fan base, so it really did make sense why to move that one. The other movies, it just really didn't really seem right.
I mean, I know didn't the trailer for Dark Phoenix just get released? What did Fox give any information as to why all of a sudden they released a trailer and then they're pushing it back again, or is it still kind of unknown?
As everything is with these stories, it is kind of unknown. It probably is the film isn't ready. Again, there's a lot of issues behind the scenes. New Mutants released a trailer for last year. It was supposed to come out in April, and it was shifted back over a year. It's going to come out this next August. So there's just a lot up in the air right now with the studio. It's unfortunate that they're really don't have a direction with these movies.
So you mentioned Deadpool. So why would Fox decide to re-release Deadpool as a PG-13 movie?
That's very odd. That might be one of the oddest parts of this story, that they're going to release Deadpool 2 as PG-13, a movie that's based off of being R-rated comedy and R-rated gore. But maybe Ryan Reynolds just put a picture on Instagram of him with Fred Savage, kind of like a reference to Princess Bride. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty hilarious image. Maybe that's they said they might be cutting some new scenes for the movie, so maybe that's a sign that Ryan Reynolds is behind it. Maybe it'll be pretty good. Who knows? You never know.
I guess we'll have to see it to find out.
Yeah, we'll wait and find out. But up next, our fashion reporter will be breaking down Michael Kors' decision to buy Versace.
Stick around, Unpeelers.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
The U.S. fashion brand Michael Kors is buying Versace for $2.1 billion. The company plans to boost Versace's global sales and increase its retail to 300 stores. With the brand's purchase of Jimmy Choo last year, Michael Kors is expanding to become a global brand. Here to give us more information about the brand's continued expansion is our fashion reporter, Olivia Tumino. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. So this is a huge deal in the fashion business right now. Everyone is talking about it.
I mean, I'm sure they are. So what exactly were the terms of the deal between Michael Kors and Versace?
So as you said, Michael Kors bought Versace for $2.1 billion. However, Donatella Versace will still have all of the creative control of the company. Her brother Santo and her daughter will still be shareholders in the company, so everything on the creative end and stuff like that, the major players in the company will still be the same, which is a really big thing to note. Also, Michael Kors will be changing its names from Michael Kors Holdings to Capri Holdings, inspired by the Capri Islands, to give them a more luxurious and glamorous feel. So that's kind of another way that they're moving towards a more high-end brand.
So you said that the creative stuff and all that is going to still be the same people from last time. So in that sense, how does this benefit Michael Kors as a label? Well,
this will really help Michael Kors expand into the European market. They've always been seen as an American brand. They're very mainstream here. So that's kind of what they're trying to do there. They're kind of hoping that this will allow them to compete with the big brands there, and this will allow them to kind of become a multi-billion-dollar business overall. That's also why they bought Jimmy Choo last year, as they're just trying to expand their company overall and become more well-rounded.
So if they want, so obviously they want to expand into Europe, but for the entire fashion industry, why is this so impactful? Because, you know, we've seen a lot of news stories about it. There's a lot of coverage on it. So how is this going to change the fashion industry?
Well, this sent shockwaves through the fashion industry. People were outraged at first because they thought, how could an American mainstream brand take on such an iconic Italian high-end company? But what people really need to understand is that the fashion industry now is about conglomerate businesses. It's about these big businesses taking these smaller individual brands and really propelling them forward. So even Donatella Versace herself said she thinks this is essential to the success of Versace. So this is really going to help them be able to compete in years come. This is going to make sure that they can stay alive and stay fresh in the fashion industry.
Good. So how will we see changes in Versace moving forward?
So Versace now is very focused on their clothing line. That's what they're known for. That's kind of where their main profit comes from. So with a huge company like Michael Kors backing them, they're going to be able to expand their brand. They're going to see more focus in accessories. They're also going to see more American sales because that's obviously where most of Michael Kors has most of their sales. So they'll be able to have a more worldwide profit.
That's great to hear. You know, you typically with all these big buy-ins and stuff, people are worried that the core product is always going to be effective. But, you know, it doesn't seem to be the case here. So when we come back, we'll be taking a look at our food reporter's trip to Beacon Skiff Apple Orchard.
So stick with us.
I've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care.
Welcome back. This weekend, our food reporter, Brooke Stephenson, went to Beacon Skiff Apple Orchard with Jill Pelkonen from College East to see who could pick the most apples the fastest.
Let's take a look.
I'm Brooke, and today we're teaming up with College Eats at the Beacon Skiff Apple Picking Farm in Lafayette. They have tractors, they have apple fritters, and we're even going to have a competition to see who can pick apples the fastest. So keep watching.
We are here in the Cortland Apple section ready to lay down the rules of this Unpeeled vs. College Eats competition. We have 1 minute to pick as many apples as we can and put them in this here bag. So Team College Eats and Team Unpeeled. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Yeah. Okay, go!
done. After a lot of sweat and hard work, we have determined that College Eats came up with 18 apples and Unpeeled came up with 22. So maybe we'll have a rematch. If not, let us know if you play with your friends who wins. From Unpeeled, I'm Brooke Stephenson.
And from College Eats, I'm Jill. And tune in for our next week where we make some apple-based recipes. So even though we lost, we still kind of won.
Happy picking.
Well, that looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Unpeeled winning and on top, even though we're orange, not an apple. But it's always nice to win these competitions.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, we're a fruit school, so I mean, not a fruit school. We're a color and a fruit, but you know, it's apple season, and we're orange people. So I just
I can't deal with any more of your corny jokes.
So after those bad puns, up next, Meagan and I will be sitting down with Anthony Obas to talk about an upcoming event. This is Syracuse. Stay tuned, Unpeelers.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Tonight we are joined by Anthony Obas, the brand manager for several local artists, including Seth Dalla's Specialty and Nazi.
Anthony's collaborating with DJ Tiff Dallas on the upcoming event, This Is Upstate, Syracuse versus Utica. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you guys for having me. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're pretty good.
Yeah, let's go. I'd love to hear it. So, what's up, you know?
So, yeah, of course. So, obviously,
nice, you know?
So, obviously, you're doing an event called This Is Upstate. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
This is Upstate, Syracuse versus Utica. I'm bringing 3 top artists from Syracuse, your boy Magic, Justin Tanksley, and Michael Leary and Justin Witter. They're doing a duo versus Utica's finest, Nazi, Razzle, and Juan Boulevard. Yeah, yeah, those are the guys as well too. So basically, it's an artist performance at the Spark Art Contemporary Space at 6:30 p.m. on Friday, October 12th.
Oh, awesome. So what inspired you to come up with this event?
It started with a Twitter beef, you know, social, you know,
as
most things happen, right? But basically, Tiff Dollars came up with this cipher. It was with the artist, and they called it This Is Upstate. And I said a comment on Twitter like, how are you going to say this is upstate when you don't include Syracuse or you don't include, but you only did Rochester or Buffalo, Albany. So I just basically said, you know, Utica's trash. You know, I said Utica's trash, and I brought it to Twitter, and then it really got heated, and then WPNR got involved, and the artists got involved. So, and then we was like, you know, let's bring this to a whole event, you know.
So are you personally connected to this whole event or something? Is there something like, is there a personal attachment for you?
I mean, there's no personal attachment besides Nazi, the artist, I kind of brand manage. Besides that, I'm just here to ball.
Yeah, of course. It's beef. Beef is always.
Beef is always starting things. But what was the event planning process like? You know, what was that? You know, I'm sure it was a lot of work for you, especially since you're also a college student.
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time. I mean, we had from August to September, and now one weekend into October. We sat down, planned out how we can make this the destination. So that weekend, I believe there's no game going on that week.
No, yeah.
There's no game. It's a bye week. There's no really big parties, no concerts. So we was like, yeah, let's do October 12th, you know, and that's how we ended up making that date or signing that date.
Yeah, A+ to your logistics. So what do you hope will come of this whole event?
I'm just hoping to bring Syracuse University and Syracuse community together. I think having artists from the Syracuse town and having, you know, Syracuse University artists kind of come together and clash against Utica is best. I think that's one thing that I'm hoping to achieve, you know, out of this event.
So is it like, so how's it gonna go? Are they just gonna like rap battle each other?
No.
Like...
It's so basically what happens is it's based on performances, right?
Okay.
And you know, which team can put on the best performance, you know?
Okay.
So basically the artist is gonna go back and forth. We're gonna have a rubric with 3 judges. Those judges are gonna judge them based on stage presence, artist engagement, marketing, fashion. You know, those are very important aspects when performing as an artist. So they're gonna be judged based on that.
Wow, so you guys have a whole system down. But where are you guys getting these judges? You know, if they're from Syracuse or Utica, they might be a little bit biased.
Right. So what we did is we randomized the judges, excuse me. We did do 1-2 from Syracuse University, but they are also music industry people, and then she did 1 from Utica. One's named Nate Sperlin, aka Old Milk, oldmilk.com. Yes, oldmilk.com. Another one's Marcus Charles. He's also on the radio as well too, and another one's Jack Redmond of the Bakery.
So who do you want to win here? I feel like you're kind of conflicted because you go to Syracuse and then you represent Nazi, who is from Utica. So who are you pulling for?
I'm pulling for my team. Okay, I'm the team leader. I'm going to bring us the victory. I'm going to bring us the W.
All right.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. So one more time for all the fans back home, can you tell us when this is happening, where I can buy tickets, and how much money am I going to spend?
I got presents for you guys.
Oh,
yes, I got flyers for you guys as well too.
Like we love a good flyer
here. So basically, on these little flyers as well too. You can basically purchase your tickets on these little flyers right here. You got the QR code. I'll be passing them out at campus as well too, and you'll also see them as well too on sometimes on the dining halls and stuff like that. You can purchase them on Eventbrite. You can go on our Facebook page. This is Upstate, Syracuse versus Utica, to kind of purchase them. So yeah, this is Upstate.
Perfect. Well prepared.
Always, I love these. And you guys have seriously put in a lot of work to this event. So I recommend, if you can, going to check it out. Also, be sure to follow Anthony and the event on social media to stay up to date with all of the latest information. So that's all we have for tonight, guys.
I'm Sean Onwualu.
And I'm Meagan Reynolds.
Have a great night, Syracuse.
Bless.